Hello students, this is a fourth video in what was originally going to be a 3-video series on modeling our desk buddy in SketchUp. The fourth model is being created, because I thought it might be worth talking about how we might add in, say, a pencil holder to this. So instead of it just being a box that we throw anything random into, we might like to put something in here to make it easier for pencils or maybe scissors or something else to stand up in. And I thought it might be a good way to also show how once we've got a 3D model, we can also prototype and try out different things to see how they might work. So my intention here is to put a plate basically across the opening here that will end up having holes in it that we could stand up our pencils or possible other items in. So let me demonstrate how I might go about trying this idea out. So here I have the model that we had created before. Everything is individual components that we can select but not accidentally delete parts that we don't want to. And what I'm simply going to do at this point is draw a rectangle across this opening. So I'm going to take my rectangle tool and I've rotated my object so that I can see sort of both opposite corners. I'm simply going to draw from that corner to this corner. As simple as that. Now it looks like I've created something with 3 sections, but again, if I use my selection tool and click on it, it is all one. Because remember, both of these sides from earlier are individual components, and what I've really just done is drawn a rectangle over the top. Let's push and pull this also up, and we'll go with the 3mm to match the same plywood that we use for the base. And it's going to be nice and easy to either drill or possibly even have things cut out with the laser cutter. So we'll set that at 3mm. Now, before I go any further, I would like that to be a component so that I don't accidentally damage it in a way I don't intend to. And like we saw in an earlier video, I'm going to first of all hide a whole lot of other stuff just to make sure I don't accidentally choose any of the sides, the base, etc. when selecting this. So I'm just hiding everything else that I don't want. And if I rotate, there's that side here as well. So I'll hide that. Again, I'm not worried about the head and the neck up there because I can now come here and select everything, if I had it in screen that is, everything that makes up this piece, component, make component, and we'll call this the pen holder. All right. If I want to, I can bring everything back that I had before, so I can unhide all the items, and I've now got that piece there. One problem I'm already noticing though is because of the way I did my curves and my shoulder right from this height, I've now got these little bits sticking out, which I don't particularly like. An easy way to fix that, again, is by modifying the side pieces. We had those coming up originally to the exact height. We want to now drop them down so that we can build in this piece of wood here. So if I look at that component, just by itself, so I've double clicked on it, and if I want, I can hide, go out it for a second, I can hide the top for a second, let's hide that, and just edit that side. I could push that down now by 3mm to allow for the extra lid that I've just created. And because the two sides are the same piece, copies of each other, pushing one down by 3mm, I'm typing in to get the exact number, has done both sides. So if I go out and I bring back in my top piece, you'll see I do have a gap there now, but again, using ideas that we've learned before, I can take that piece, whoops, I can grab a corner from it. So grab that corner there, try again. You know what, it's just annoying me. I'm going to hide this front just for a minute because it's just getting in my way. I could probably just rotate and also do the same thing, but just to make it easy to grab, I've hidden it now. So I want to grab that corner and lock it back down there, and I'll bring back my front. So now I don't have those hanging over bits because I've adjusted to allow for that. But what I want now is to do the pencil holding lines. Now, before I go any further, let's just remember what's underneath here. If I hide this one for a second, we have the width of this side pieces on both sides. I don't want to be drilling holes and it's going to be half sticking into those. So the first thing I'm actually going to do once I bring this back is put a couple of construction lines in. So let's go into editing this piece, and I'm going to put 2 construction lines in. One of them is going to be from each side, so from that edge into the work 12 millimeters, and that's basically showing me where the edge of the wood underneath would be. I'm going to do the same on this side, coming in and going 12 millimeters as well. So now I know not to drill anything at least up to these edges. I don't want to have it coming into the wood underneath. I'd also like a little bit more of a border around, so I don't want anything too close. So from both the back and the sides, I'm going to put let's say a 10 millimeter border in. So from that side and from here, I want to come in 10 millimeters, make sure I'm doing this properly. That's what I want on the red, 10 millimeters. And I'm also going to come in from these lines. Remember, these lines are showing the very edge of it. In fact, no, I won't come in from there. Let's leave that. So my question is, how far is it from here across to there? It's 66 millimeters. Good. And how far is it from here to here? That is 96. Great. So let's now divide that up into some pieces. I might go, it was 66 across, so let's go, what's that, 12s each time? Was it 66? Sorry, I've already forgotten my own measurement. 66, sorry. So that would be 22 millimeters divided into 2. So let's go 22 millimeters across and 22 millimeters across as well. And then this measurement, if I remember correctly, or double check, was 96. So let's divide that into groups. So a nice easy number would be, what's that, 32s. So if we go across 32, and if we go across 32 as well, it's just giving us a nice grid. The reason for that grid is it's going to show me where I can draw each of my little circles that I'm going to use for pencils. Now, I could go even smaller here. In fact, I probably will. Let's go, these were 32, so let's halve those again and put another 18 in each time. So I'm just going to put an 18, another 18 there, and another 18 there. And these lines would depend on what you've got. Now, that obviously didn't quite work out. What did that come out to be? I've done some maths wrong. 18. I'm doing 18, so this 16. I can't do maths in my head right now. Sorry about that. Let's put these better. These should be 16s. 16 and 16. So they're all in the center. And I'm going to divide these as well. So each of these segments was 22. So let's make those 11 and 11 and 11. So the reason for all this grid work is going to make sense in just a second. So what I have is a segment that I want to draw a circle in. But if you remember my circle tool, it likes to draw from the center. So if I now use each of these segments, I can draw a circle quite easily. So let's make this, what's the size of a pencil? Let me grab a pencil from my desk. If I measure the width of the pencil, averaging, let's say 12 millimeters. So I'm going to make them 15 millimeters wide so that the pencil can easily fit. Remembering though that it's doing a radius here, not the diameter. So if I want a 15 millimeter diameter, I'm going to do 7.5 as my radius, and that's my circle there. I'm basically going to take each of these second points and put in a new circle. 7.5 there and 7.5 there as well. And that's what all that measuring of those grid was. It's just to give me these nice points where I can easily come in and draw my circles. Now, you don't have to do that. You could literally just draw what you think's right. You might have a different set of measurements that work for you. These are obviously quite spaced out still. I could get them closer to each other, but I thought it was another opportunity to play with the construction lines a little bit. Okay, so that's basically laid out where all my pieces could be. I could probably get another one in actually. Yeah, I could get more circles in. I might just do that. 7.5, 7.5, just enough to make sure that I can fit a few pencils in here at least. If I'm going to laser cut this, it definitely won't matter. That small is perfectly fine. If I'm going to drill it by hand, it might be a bit close. I might need to adjust my measurements a bit. But hey, this is a prototype. From here, the next thing I'm going to do is just a bit of cleanup. I'm going to rub out all of those construction lines, just rubbing them out on the side to make sure I don't hit anything I want, to keep all that. And the last thing I'm going to do is now push all of those pieces out. Remembering the thickness is 3 mil. So if I just go down and say 3, whoops, it should be -3, sorry. So I'm going down, -3. That didn't work either. Why is it not locking out? It might in fact be doing it, but I've just done it wrong. Let's go down 3 millimeters. That's better. So still pushing in the downwards direction and 3. I don't need to use negative, sorry. It knows I've pushed in that direction. So I've just got to literally lock out each of those. It's a little bit of a pain. There's probably a way to duplicate this that I myself don't know. I'm not claiming to be an expert in any of this. I just know enough to do the sort of things that I need to do. There we go. So that's what we have. And now if I unselect that, I've got my piece. So I can see that I'm looking through there and I've now made that piece. So I could potentially stand up pencils in there quite easily. And again, like I mentioned in the video about doing the face, I could potentially take this design now, put it into the laser cutter and have all of this cut out very easily because it's only 3 millimeter thick plywood that I'm going to use, or it might be plastic. I might decide to do this out of a different material. So long as the machine that I'm using can handle it, I can take this out. So there you go. That's a bonus little video, if you like, about how you might design another piece. And that was all done within the model itself. I didn't have to draw anything else up separately. I just used what was already there. If I don't like that design, I could very easily basically pull this one off, move it to the side, and try a different option. So let's say I take this off and put it over there. I'm not going to delete it, put it over there, and I could have another go and try a different design. Maybe I want to do slots for post-it notes or something, or I want to do some circles and some slots, or I want to try something else. Basically, in the 3D model, it's very easy now to prototype other ideas that don't require the wastage of time and energy and materials in the real world. So as I said, this is now, we'll consider a bonus 4th video of what was the 3-video tutorial. But yeah, hopefully, again, this has helped you to understand a little bit more about modeling and giving you an opportunity to try out creating your desk buddy in the virtual space of SketchUp instead of having to be able to draw it manually, which is not easy, to be honest, in a 3D space, and also be able to get things more accurate. So I hope this has helped you. As always, if you need some help in class, please ask.